Hey guys, welcome to Planning with Crystal. So today we're going to be doing a comparison between the Nespresso Vertuo Plus machine and the Nespresso Vertuo Next machine, which they've just recently released. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you each side of each machine. We're going to have a look at things like the cup rest size and also the water capacity, so that you can see every kind of angle and the difference between the two. I'm going to talk to you about the different capsules that it accepts. I'm also going to tell you about a lot of the features and things, all the features and things that are included with these different machines, and we're going to make a drink with each, check the temperature and see if there's any difference between the two drinks that it produces. So to start with, there is slight size differences between the two. And the Vertuo Plus is a slightly heavier machine, nothing massive. This is 4.6 kilograms, whereas the next machine's only 4 kilograms. Not likely to make a difference who is carrying their machine around with them, but I just thought I would mention that to you. In terms of the width of the machine, they're exceptionally similar. 14.22 centimetres on this one and 14 centimetres to this one, so very, very similar. Obviously, they look slightly different, and it's personal choice, isn't it, which one you prefer. So, well, let's open each machine. So the way that the machines open is very different. So the Vertuo Plus, you just press under there and it lifts itself. Whereas the Vertuo Next, you actually have to twist this handle and it opens like that. So this one's a lot more kind of automated in that way. You can see it's taking quite a while to actually kind of warm up, kick in and open itself, but at some point it should do. Now, if you're somebody who struggles with the hands or the wrists, maybe you have arthritis, that kind of thing, then you're probably going to be better with the Vertuo Plus, because obviously this requires, and in terms of closing it, it requires a little bit of kind of pushing it down and wrist strength and things. So if that's a consideration for you, then you might want to go for this one. Okay, so now I've said that, it hasn't actually come up on the first touch. I think that's just actually heated up the machine, but if you press it again, that is how it opens. And I've ejected the last capsule. So you can see now when they're open, this one's a little bit taller, which again could be a consideration if it's going under kitchen cupboards or something. You might want to think about the very slight kind of height difference. So Vertuo Plus and the Vertuo Next are quite a bit taller. I guess a lot of that's down to the kind of size of the lid on there, different shapes and stuff like that. In terms of, while we're still at the front, the mechanism in which they throw out the capsules, which you'll see when we make a drink in a little bit, is exactly the same. It's almost like a little bit of a slide. The capsule is lifted up when you're finished with the drink and the capsule, and it just slides down and drops into that capsule container there at the back. And we'll have a look at the capsule container sizes as well, so you can see there's quite a difference between the two. Not so much in terms of capacity, but very different shapes and things to go with the machines. So looking at the front of the machines themselves, the actual cup rests are very different. So this is the one that obviously belongs here to the Vertuo Plus, and this is the one that comes with the Vertuo Next. Now you can see straight away, this one is, I think it's stainless steel, it's metal anyway. It's obviously really well made, and it's just got this grill on top. And then the one that they've included with the Next is a lot more cheaply made. It's like a plastic, it's much, much smaller, just a little plastic bit that goes on top. The Vertuo Plus also has 2 hooks. So what you do is you move it up according to the size drink you're gonna make. So if you're going to make a big drink, you'll probably put your cup rest at the bottom, and if you're going to make a really small drink, you move it up. There's 4 different sizes, 4 different ones, according to the size of your cup. So if you're making an espresso, you're probably going to use it like there. And this is similar. It does have only 3 cup sizes, which to be fair is fine. I've never used all 4, but it is obviously a lot more cheaply made, and this one is quite a bit smaller. Now, using it so far, I haven't noticed any difference. It's not like I've had a cup that hasn't fit on. But if you had a particularly large cup with like a large base, perhaps this would be a bit better. Just a consideration. I mean, in terms of craftsmanship, materials, things like that, bear in mind when this machine was first purchased, it was £199. It's currently £99, and this machine was £150. Now, they do have a more kind of upmarket version of the Next machines. They have one that's I think 175 and one that's 200, and if you go for the one that's 200 there are some slight differences. I think it uses more stainless steel and things like that, so that could be a consideration. So it isn't necessarily a direct comparison in that way due to the cost and whatnot. So let's have a look at the sides of the machines. So here you can just see the side of the machines. So the Vertuo Plus has got a depth of 32.51. This one has got a depth of 38. So you can sort of see that in terms of this was also a bit longer, and you can just see the little water tank sticking out of the back. I'm just struggling to kind of fit them on the worktop and everything at the moment. So it's not too different, but again, it could depend. If you are looking at trying to fit it into a particular space, you might want to look at the measurements, and I will put all the measurements under the video as well so that you can see the differences there when you're trying to make your decision. I'm just going to flip to the other side because the Vertuo Next machine actually keeps its capsule container on the other side of the machine, which I'll just show you now. Now, one thing to just mention with this is with the Vertuo Plus machine, you can also twist your water tank at the back, so you can have it so it's in a straight line, or you can kind of tuck it so it sort of sits out of the way. Again, if you're looking at fitting it in a particular space, might really be a consideration for you. So in terms of the kind of capsule holders that I was talking to you about, in the Vertuo Next machine, it sits there on the side. I've actually got a capsule in here, and it comes apart, just slides out like that, so you can clean in there and you can clean inside the little capsule container bit. This again is a consideration, because if you think about it, because you have to pull it out of a particular side, it affects where you position the machine, because if you have this, say, against a wall or against another appliance or something, you have to have the space to be able to tip that out to then pull it out. So again, if you're looking at certain spaces, this probably isn't going to be the machine for you, whereas the Vertuo Plus, you can just pull it out like that, and you can pull it out on either side. It's not restricted to which side, it pulls just as well from the other side. And in terms of the capsule containers, they are both said to hold 10 large capsules, because obviously there's different sizes that these machines hold, but 10 of the large ones. And this again is the one that came from the Plus, and this is the Next machine. In terms of the water tank, you can see the Plus there on the left has got a much larger water capacity at 1.8 litres, whereas the Next version only has a water capacity of 1.1 litres. So I do find I am having to keep refilling the newer model if I'm making a few drinks in a day. Okay, so another thing that I wanted to mention, the cord length on both machines is exactly the same. I don't think it's particularly long unless your machine happens to be sat right next to a plug socket or something. It's 74 centimetres. I would prefer it if they were much longer, but they're both exactly the same, both 74 centimetres. Another consideration you might want to think about when buying between these two machines, this one is made out of recycled materials. Not all of it, but quite a bit of it. They've really focused a lot more on that when making this machine, whereas they haven't so much with this because this is an older machine. And if you've watched my unboxing video of the Vertuo Next, and if you haven't, I'll link it at the end, the box itself as well is also made of recyclable materials. So again, might be a consideration for you. Let's make a drink in each machine, see which is quicker, and also which makes the better drink if there's any difference at all. So both machines have been switched off for a little bit now. I'm going to switch them both on, and I'm going to time how long that takes. So to switch this one on, we're just going to do this, and for this one we're just going to do this. So they've both, obviously that one's not opening quite as quick, but if I press it again it will. So I'm not going to time that bit, I'm going to time it from when it starts making the drink. So in terms of capsules, there are a few different sizes. Your smallest ones look like this, and this makes 40 mils of coffee. Then your medium size is like this one. This is a double espresso, and then there's also a whole other range which are also considered medium. So your double espresso sizes, they make 80 mils of coffee. Then this size, which is a Grand Lungo, is 150 of coffee. Then your mug size is 230 mils, looks like this. The way the machines work, every capsule, regardless of its size, has a barcode on the top, and you put them in the machine reads the barcode and dispenses the correct amount of water depending on the coffee capsule that you've put in. So today we're going to make 2 of these Melozio coffees, and we'll do it with and without milk so we can do the taste difference. Alto Dolce is one of the largest capsules that they make. It is a strength number 4. They do 2 in this size. They do the Alto Dolce, which is strength 4, and the Alto Intenso, which is strength 7. So this is 414 mils. I don't even have a cup big enough to dispense this in. I generally dispense it into a cup and then the rest into like a milk jug and just top up my coffee as I'm going. So it's not generally one that I repurchase because I just think it's too big. The taste is nice, but the coffee is just crazy size for me personally. Some people might absolutely love it. I'm going to put the capsules in. They both go in like that with the dome shape down and the flat bits sitting up. I'm going to put identical cups under each. I'm going to press this one down and close it. And then that one you just do that with. There's a button on top of each that you just press to dispense the coffee. So, let's go. Oh, interesting. So the plus is actually dispensing the coffee first at 21 seconds. And then the next machine starts at 29 seconds. So that one finished at 1:26. This one is still dripping away at 1:39. Okay, so very similar. So you can see they both look pretty similar. You can just see where the coffee has actually dropped in. This one's a little bit more central, this one's sort of more on the edge, and that's just obviously the design of the machine. It's exactly the same coffee, but you can kind of see the crema on the next machine seems slightly higher, slightly darker I would say, and almost the foam is slightly different as well, which is interesting. So hopefully you can kind of see the difference there. This is almost more kind of aerated, I would say. And this is the crema from the Plus machine. Interesting. I have sort of noticed that the crema on the next machine seems to sort of dissipate away a little bit quicker. You can see now it's already starting to kind of bubble away and almost disappear. So let's taste each coffee. I'm also going to test the temperature of them both as well. And then we'll add some milk as well and see what the difference is there. So I'm just going to be using this little KitchenAid, actually for frothing milk from an old kind of coffee machine I used to have ages ago. I've tested it and my kettle water is 90 degrees. So if you 90 degrees Celsius, so that's a kind of the benchmark. So for the Vertuo Plus machine, just let it do its thing. Okay, so we're getting a reading of about 63. Nothing too precise with this, unfortunately. It's not digital or anything too fancy. And then I would say for the Vertuo next, I'm getting about 61. So very, very similar. I don't have my coffee too hot anyway. I like it to be kind of at a drinking temperature. So I'm quite happy with that, and they're very, very similar to each other. So if you like it super hot, perhaps it's not quite hot enough for you, but I know you're not supposed to burn coffee and stuff anyway, so perhaps that's part of it. So in terms of colour, they've both got the same kind of dark colour going on. Hopefully you can see here that crema is really kind of doing strange things. Reminds me a little bit of honeycomb. Anyway, let's taste each and see what it tastes like. That's the most important bit. I would say you get a little tiny bit more bitterness from this coffee than that coffee. Bear in mind, it's the same coffee, same machines, same water, same heating time and everything else. Very, very slightly more bitter, but I quite like bitter in coffee, so that's fine. So then what we're going to do is add a little bit of milk and see if we notice any differences when the milk's added. I've tried to put the same amount of milk in each one of these. So that's how they're looking with the milk in there. I'll just give them a little bit of a stir. Just show you up close as well. Again, that crema is looking a little bit different here on the plus compared with the next. Interesting, I have no idea what's going on with that. Slightly different though. So you still get that slight bitterness with the next machine that you don't get with the plus machine. Nothing majorly different, but there is definitely a slight difference there. In terms of the automatic power off, so if you dispense your drink and don't switch the machine off straight away, the plus is going to take 9 minutes to switch off, whereas the next machine does it within 2 minutes. So again, kind of thinking about that environmental impact, you're gonna have a much better experience, and you're gonna save more energy by using the next versus the plus, if that's a consideration. Also, just aesthetics really. I do like the fact that they've put the metal Nespresso logo sticking out there, whereas it's just printed on this machine. Minor things. Let's just kick the capsules out. So again, just open that and it just goes down the slide and falls there into the back. And then for that one, it pretty much does the same thing and they just fall away. If you've watched any of my other videos, you'll see that I also have a Nespresso Creatista Plus and a Creatista Pro machine, so I will be doing a video in the future with the differences between the Vertuo coffee and the original line coffee. So if you're trying to decide between do I go for the big capsules or the small capsules, I'll tell you all about my experiences with both, and hopefully that'll help you make that decision. If there's any other kind of videos you would like to see with the machine or anything you'd like to know, just leave me a comment and I'll see what I can do on that score. I also wanted to mention at the moment that this machine, like I said, is £99. This one is £149, and they both have a current offer where if you buy it right now, Nespresso are giving you 100 free capsules, and that's the same regardless of which machine you get. And then on your next order of 100 capsules or more, they also give you a free travel cup. So check that out. If you're thinking of getting it, you might as well get it while the offer is on. I bought both machines myself as well, in case you were wondering. I bought all the coffee machines myself, much as I would love Nespresso to send me free machines. I do hope you will leave me a thumbs up and please subscribe to make sure you don't miss any more of my videos. Bye guys!